Alright people, what's up everyone, and welcome to another reaction video for another Oddheader video, and this is the top 10 game mysteries and discoveries of 2021. Thank you everybody that's been watching. Oddheader is really fun. These reactions are a little bit more muted, because I like to let him talk, and he talks the entire time. And I'm actually super interested in these. I want to hear all about them, so... these are videos that I would normally watch myself, but I haven't watched Oddheader in a few months, so I figured might as well, catch up with Oddheader with you guys. Yeah. So it's been a few months since I watched Oddheader one, so even though I watched 2 videos so far, but whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, let's get to it. This is a top 10 game discoveries 2021. This looks like an enemy from like Deadly Premonition or whatever. But I'm assuming it's Fatal Frame. I don't know. Anyway, let's go. It looks like Fatal Frame with this girl. Anyway, let's go. Let's go!
In the last couple of Best of Year discoveries, I mentioned how the unfortunate state of the world allowed us to find some pretty awesome Easter eggs. And as to whether or not things have been from the previous year,
don't look outside. No!
This is why today we're diving into the top
let me get rid of the
mysteries
captions.
and discoveries of 2021. Star Wars.
What?
Starfighter. Thanks to Sly Cooper.
What happened? Oh, it was I keep forgetting to take off my sponsor blocker here.
New island area in a zoom of travelers to find new fantasies on your journey. Star Wars.
Genshin Impact, I guess.
Thanks to Sly Cooper Reload coded for submitting this.
I used to really enjoy this game.
Star Wars Starfighter is the smooth 2001 spaceflight simulator that takes place during the Battle of Naboo from the 1999 film The Phantom Menace. Both Star Wars titles I
actually looks pretty good,
despite their obvious drawbacks. Well, one of my favorite hackers and YouTubers, Sly Cooper Reload coded, was feeling a bit nostalgic themselves and began going through the code of the game and uncovered many debugging tools developers left over. Using a command they found to generate any model in the game that they wanted. They noticed there was a model for a Jar Jar in the files that, as far as they knew, never actually appeared in the game.
There
Which
he
one
is.
they spawned in gave them this dork, Jar Jar Binks, the annoying comic relief character from the Phantom Menace that many consider the worst Star Wars character of all time.
He's
Except
the best.
for some reason in a barrel and even complete with animations, which is rather unusual for an asset
it would be
that
like an
only
unlockable
appear
vehicle.
in the game. After doing a bit of reverse engineering and some investigating, Reload Coded was able to determine that the model did actually appear in the game, apparently on the mission Rescue on the Solo, and determined it was set in an invisible state and coded to suddenly appear after a specific voice line the game was said.
Rescue flight, let's pick 'em up!
Which plays after destroying the very last island turret on the mission. With all the information they needed, Reload Coded played the mission up until the point of destroying the last turret, and then decided to ignore the normal mission objective and turned around and faced the large waterfall towering over the environment, looking near the top to see if anything would happen. And sure enough, Reload Coded seemingly discovered for the very first time this.
What? Oh, he fell out of
As far as I and Reload Coded could tell, there doesn't appear to be any other mention or documentation of this.
Wow, he slowed down.
Leading us to believe this is the first time this Easter egg has ever been discovered in 20 years.
Wow, we found it.
Satisfying after 2
I
decades.
didn't do anything.
We finally get to see this son of a get thrown off a waterfall.
I wish he hit one of the rocks though. See, that's the problem.
3.
Rayman 3 is pretty good. Rayman 2 is better.
But this discovery on Oddheader.com. 2003's Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc is the third installment in Ubisoft's popular platformer series, which pretty much felt like Rayman 2.
Those goddamn rabbits ruined it.
That really pushed the
we got those 2D games though.
Was even censored for the
Went back to
360 re-release.
Hey, I like that outfit on you. When does it come off? Don't be so touchy.
Regardless of all that, earlier this year, Rayman hacker Drooly discovered for the first time in the PlayStation 2 version of the game an unfound Easter egg that references a time when Rayman games were simpler, as they found a secret display mode that could be activated by setting the standard video output to 480p, and then starting a new game with the file name PS1. Doing so makes the game drop down to 240p and removes texture filtering, making the game convincingly look like a classic PlayStation 1.
That looks really good, actually.
Which is cool and all, love it, but I'd also love if somebody could explain to me why in the game's code this secret display mode is internally referenced as Christian Slater mode. What the hell does Christian Slater have to do with giving Rayman second-rate graphics? Or is it a reference to a second-rate Jack Nicholson impression that he does in others? I contacted both the developers and Christian Slater about this and didn't hear a response. I can only
contacted Christian Slater
about this sooner rather than Slater.
Fuck yourself.
Thanks to Modified for submitting this on the Oddheader Discord. McDonald's Treasureland Adventure, released on Sega Genesis.
Never heard of this game. Is this as good as McKids?
It's a side-scrolling platformer featuring former hamburger representative Ronald McDonald. And his
former? Oh, that's right. He's not around anymore. What the fuck happened? That goddamn Pennywise. Ruined everything.
So I'm now craving some Mickey D's myself. It's a surprisingly good game for a McDonald's.
Stop talking about it, please.
Likely credit to the fact that it was the first game created by Treasure, a studio made up of ex-Konami employees. For some reason, Treasure was quite ambitious with the game's tech, which is why treasure
It looks
founder
pretty
Masato
nice.
Migawa had to reveal in issue 219 of Retro Gamer magazine there was an impressive hidden 3D rotating polygonal display that could be found if a secret code was entered into the game. At the time, no players had figured out how to activate the Easter egg. Until in April this year, Twitter user Unlisted Cheese was finally able to crack the code. By entering a sequence of balloons, a gem, the McDonald's arch, and Ronald McDonald himself, followed by pressing start 3 times and holding up and left after hearing an explosion, which revealed this intense Easter egg.
What the fuck?
The McDonald's sign actually transforms into the 3D engine that programmer Kazuki Go Ishida developed for Treasure's logo screen, which allows the player to select from different models and rotate.
Why is it making that noise?
Why the music is
I can't hear you. Oddheader, I can't hear you.
Migawa also
Too
revealed in the
loud.
press interview there's also a second unfound Easter egg in the game, where inputting a code on the menu screen would make the Sega logo explode, which apparently the developers added to the game out of frustration as they were ticked by McDonald's last-minute demands, such as changing the hamburger scenes to feature gems instead, so that McDonald's hamburgers weren't treated with disrespect. Were they planning on showing how they made them? Though really, I don't understand why Treasure made an Easter egg to take out their McDonald's frustrations
I really like
by
McDonald's
blowing up
burgers.
the Sega logo.
Chicky nuggies,
Wouldn't it
though.
make more sense like this?
Yeah, fuck that place up.
Quarantine. Thanks to Dark Alchemy XEX for submitting this through the Oddheader Discord.
Hey,
Quarantine,
too soon.
a concept we're all familiar with at this point. It's an interesting title from 1994 on the 3DO and MS-DOS.
I've never heard of this game.
A cab driver trying to
What?
escape a chaotic city that's been walled off from the rest
I
of
guess
the
he
world.
did say Sega
Controlled by
CD.
an
That makes
ominous
sense.
outside corporation that contaminates
Wait, did
the
it say
water
Sega
supply
CD?
and drives its citizens mad, which plays like an interesting concoction of Crazy Taxi Doom and
Carmageddon?
Grand Theft Auto. The
I was
developers,
thinking
funny enough,
Carmageddon,
going on to
but that's
later
it,
join
too.
Rockstar Studios, who made the Grand Theft Auto series. While it's remembered for its over-the-top intro and striking cover, that's a windshield wiper smeared with some blood.
Yeah.
The game also hides particular secret Dark Alchemy found that will be sure to never make anyone see the game the same way again. As Dark
I'm
Alchemy
sorry, what?
remembered as a kid inputting a money cheat incorrectly and coming across something
Oh,
he
Dark
certainly never
Alchemy.
expected to see.
It's the guy's
At least
name.
at
I was like,
his
what?
age. As by using an emulator today, he found by going to the language setting in the menu and entering the code CBCA, you would hear a scream, which doesn't initially seem to do anything, until you realize every single character you pick up in your cab is letting it all hang out for everyone to see. Well, did not need to see that. Dark Alchemy even got a response from a developer on Reddit who revealed he had no idea that the new code was on the 3DO version, but knew it was on the MS-DOS version and gave him the code for that. Thanks. Can't wait to check that one out. Good job, Dark
thank
Alchemy,
you.
for confirming
Oh,
this horrendous
boy.
discovery does truly exist on the 3DO version for the first time in 27
I
years.
don't want to
Now,
see
if you can
this.
just excuse me, I'm gonna go wash out my eyes. Halo 3. Thanks to
Oh,
Gordon
Halo
Pepin
3, eh?
for submitting
There's
this
a
on
lot of
Oddheader.com.
secrets in Halo
While
3,
the third
though.
installment in
In
the
pretty much
Halo
every
series
Halo
was released
game.
in 2007. A new unfinished beta build of the game was only recently released. And similar to the unfound Easter egg that was found in the original Halo beta
Someone's
last year,
wife, right?
it didn't take
Or
long for
mom?
Corbin
I
to
forgot.
find something that's never been found before. As Corbin was messing around with the included developer tools in the beta and decided to spawn in as many warthogs as they possibly could. When they decided to get in the back turret of one of the hogs and start blowing everything to smithereens, when suddenly, whoa.
What the fuck?
Only posed more questions than answers. The butterflies only seem to appear if you destroy enough warthogs at the same time using a single explosion. My initial theory that it was a placeholder for an unfinished particle effect also seemed to lose steam, as it appeared that all the explosive effects that appear in the final game seem to be intact.
Yeah, I was about to say, it
Honestly,
doesn't make any
there's no
sense.
answers to this one, but one thing
No,
does look cool.
It'd be amazing if there was like an announcer thing that would come, like, that would say, like, I don't know. Yeah, like the Kilimanjaro and stuff. If you blow up enough cars at the same
This
time.
discovery takes us all the way back to 2019.
Oh no, the worst game ever. That's what Darkside Phil said.
Channel.
That's what he clickbaited his piece of shit video
When I
as.
covered in my video 10 game discoveries never meant to be found part 3, then the 2016 first-person shooter Homefront: The Revolution, an arcade machine could be found in the game that allowed players to play the first 2 levels of the classic shooter TimeSplitters 2, which confused data miners as they managed to find every single asset from the entire game of TimeSplitters 2 completely redone
I remember
HD
this.
sitting in the files of the game, leaving me only to speculate.
Was this the
why,
last year they
considering
announced
only
this?
2 levels were
Or they
actually
found this?
playable on the
I
cabinet.
thought it was like
Or at least
longer
so I
ago.
thought, as only a couple months later a developer who wished to remain anonymous saw this segment and in response reached out to me and my friend and
Fucking love
collaborator
TimeSplitters.
Easter Egg Hunter to reveal
So
there
good.
actually was a way to play the full TimeSplitters 2 game in Homefront: The Revolution. But due to announcements from its publisher, an official TimeSplitters HD re-release supposedly around the corner, the legal ramifications of revealing
I
such
fucking
an
hope
egg was
so.
unclear, leading me to heavily hint about the unfound Easter egg and Easter eggs that That Were Never Found Part 2. And so the search was
I mean,
on.
at this point, I'd
Largely led
rather
by
just
Info
wait
1997
until
on my
that HD
Discord server, who
remaster comes
started
out.
another server where much more progress.
Dude, the fucking multiplayer in TimeSplitters is so good. You can create your own map and stuff, and I used to just make a map that was pretty much a square and just like have a brawl. Like a
Was made on the egg, but the final solution managed to always evade them. Then this year, completely out of nowhere, a separate developer from the one that contacted me and the Easter egg hunter, Matt Phillips, let the cat out of the bag reveal in the full game was hidden in the cabinet, but didn't explain how to unlock it. Tanflow 1997 requested some more information, and the developer spoiled that it involved inputting a code that's been lost to time. This prompted data miner and hacker Spencer Perot to quickly bounce back with the code he pulled from the data of the game, which when players went and entered on the level select screen, finally revealed the
I didn't realize
full
that's what happened.
remaster of TimeSplitters 2 that's been hiding in Homefront the
There it
Revolution
is.
for 5 years since
The
its release.
fuck, man, release it! People would buy the shit out of this. I'd buy the fuck out of this.
Which finally lifts the weight off of my chest, as it was hard keeping that a secret, which I was only doing not to get anyone in legal trouble. Especially considering Deep Silver did publicly indicate that they were going to release a future TimeSplitters game. Well, hopefully Matt Phillips isn't in any hot water right now, as Deep Silver releasing the remaster now is pretty much out the window at this point.
Wait, is that true?
Release a future TimeSplitters game. Well, hopefully Matt Phillips isn't in any hot water right now, as Deep Silver releasing the remaster now is pretty much out the window at this point.
Why? Because they're making a new TimeSplitters game?
Dark Judgment.
Or because that
Thanks
got
to
released, I
Mills
guess.
for submitting this discovery.
You know what? Just release that separately. Whatever.
Discord. Earlier this year in my video 7 Easter eggs that haven't been found part 3, I talked about the action arcade beat-em-up side-scrolling game Dark Judgment, which was released in Hong Kong in 1997 and finally released worldwide on Steam for the first time in 2020.
Oh, really?
In that video I detailed how in 2016
I
the
play
game's
this.
sprite
It looks
designer
good.
wrote a blog
I've
post
been in the
about
mood for
game,
some beat-em-ups.
mentioning a hidden playable character he called Tomato Girl, who apparently was hidden so well
Tomato
no player
Girl.
had ever managed to find her, leaving me only to imagine what
There
Tomato
she
Girl
is,
could really
unlocked.
be. As just a few months after my video, Mills combed through the data of the game and figured out by pressing down, left, down, right, down, up, down, down, attack as player 1 on the player select screen, you would finally unlock Tomato Girl.
There
which
she is.
was only a nickname, as her name is actually Frankenstein. Not exactly sure how anyone was supposed to find that. Not only that, but Mills also found by pressing down, down, left, left, up, up, right,
You get a
right,
different
jump on the
colored
same screen,
version?
you could unlock a second hidden playable character named Little Carol, who might
Little
actually
Carol?
kick the most ass out of anyone in this game.
What? I
Making
want to
that
play Little
2
Carol.
Easter eggs Mills uncovered that were actually hidden in the game for 24
This game
years.
looks super
As well as
good.
confirming my prediction for Tomato Girl wasn't actually that far off. Well, with some adjustment.
I feel like...
Kid Pilot. Thanks to Natalie for submitting this through Oddheader.com. 1998's Kid Pilot is a rather
like those
standard
were
flight
unnecessary.
simulator for children that flew under the radar for just about everyone. Lost in the sea of countless edutainment titles from the 90s that no one can seem to remember. Except for Natalie, who recalled a discovery they found in Kid Pilot as a kid that they'd never been able
Half
to
of
forget.
McDonald's
As
logo.
Natalie explained after crashing the plane in the game, they remember being startled by the image of a skull of one of the game's cartoon penguins, but never was
What?
able to see
Where?
it again.
I wanna see
leaving
it.
Natalie wondering what it was for years.
This is
Until
the skull of
finally this year,
penguin.
they couldn't bear the torment any longer and finally decided to extract the files from their old copy of the game. Sure enough, they did
There it
find
is.
a pop-up screen in the files
this
featuring
your
the skull and
card?
crossbones of the penguins. But also weirdly, the message "Is this your card?" that they didn't remember at all, as well as a sheet of playing cards elsewhere in the files which didn't seem to appear anywhere in the game, as well as a hidden setting to display a specific card in the prompt that they found. Natalie then reached out to lead programmer of the game, Glenn Wolfram, and Wolfram unexpectedly revealed that he was a huge fan of the comedic magician's Penn and
Okay, I
Teller,
was about to say
who in
some
the
Penn and
past
Teller
encouraged
shit.
their fans to hide cards in obscure places for elaborate "Is this your card?" tricks. Glenn revealed an interesting twist. It wasn't so much an Easter egg that was supposed to be found, but rather a magic trick, as well as a tribute to his favorite magicians. The trick being, first you get a friend to pick a card. You set the card in a secret setting that Natalie found without them noticing. Get
Okay.
your friend to play the game, and then crash the plane in Las Vegas where Penn and Teller perform.
Ah.
Then say, "Is this your card?" as the card they chose appeared on screen, tricking your clueless friend none the wiser.
Okay.
Glenn revealed Penn and Teller declined to give their endorsement for the Easter egg like he had hoped, so instead he put in the dead
okay.
penguin. But as far as he knew, it was never
It was supposed to be
actually
Penn and Teller,
properly
then?
implemented. So how Natalie managed to be struck by this unnerving image, as well as why Glenn thought a dead version of
I
one
thought
of
it'd
the
be-
game's
I thought it'd be a little
characters
bit more-
was an appropriate replacement for a
I
card
thought it'd be a little
may
bit
just
more
be
unnerving,
questions
honestly.
we'll never know
I guess the
answer.
eyes are a little
Five Nights at Freddy's,
scaly.
sister location.
I'm
Thanks to
sure there's a lot of secrets of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Ashley for submitting this on Oddheader.com. 2016's Five Nights at Freddy's sister location is the 5th installment in the hugely popular jump scare barraging horror series, pitting players against hostile animatronics and locations connected to the
I prefer
fictional
Willy's
Freddy Fazbear's
Wonderland.
Pizza franchise. While the series is known for its countless deep lore fan theories and mysterious questions, that didn't stop Five Nights at Freddy's data miner and technical documenter Ashley from finding something in the game for the first time in 5 years that completely defies explanation from the rest of the game. And don't worry, it's not a jump scare. I wouldn't do that to you. As Ashley found on
Fucking lies.
traveling through the Balboa Gallery by standing still and holding down the 0 and 1 keys simultaneously for exactly 1 minute and 20 seconds, the game suddenly switches over to a blue screen. And then by pressing 1 again immediately after, it would suddenly switch to a strange display of flickering numbers, some of which eventually go static. The hell is this? What's particularly mysterious about this is Ashley confirmed that every step of this discovery is intentionally hard-coded into the game, confirming it is something completely intentional and not something that wasn't meant to be found. There is also some number generation that can be found on the breaker room screen, but Ashley confirmed that one is programmed entirely differently, and is specifically made to display a much larger range of numbers. Some immediately believed it had something to do with the keypad in the private room, but again Ashley confirmed there is only one possible solution to the keypad, as the 4 keys to the solution are the only ones with scripting on them, none of which have anything to do with this screen. And unfortunately, that's where the trail ends. Plenty have tried to reach out to the developer for answers, but unfortunately never heard anything back. As far as Ashley is concerned, they don't believe the discovery is in any way connected to the story, but are absolutely clueless why this was intentionally hidden the way it was or what it could possibly be, chucking this one up to be a great big who the hell knows.
Well, fucking
DreadOut 2.
Sure. There's a second DreadOut 2? I mean, there's a second DreadOut 2. There's a second DreadOut? We're playing this for the game's gone by this October.
Oddheader.com. DreadOut 2 is a game from 2020 clearly inspired by the classic Fatal Frame series. Fatal Frame being an Eastern horror series about schoolgirls who fight off ghosts.
Fatal Frame is actually one of those games where it's scary but not too scary. DreadOut, that looked too
still cameras.
Too scary.
Whereas DreadOut is an Eastern horror series about schoolgirls who fight off ghosts with phone cameras, using what the game calls an iris phone, which allows its users to see more than the human eye can perceive.
I didn't know there was a second DreadOut.
He submitted to my website that he was scurrying along the perimeter of the environment when he heard noises that indicated that an enemy was nearby. But couldn't determine what it was or get closer to where the sounds were leading.
Turn it off.
At first, that's all it was, until Michael managed to figure out an exploit where if he switched to the free camera and then moved the camera far enough away, the environment and his wall collision would deload, allowing him to move his position freely and get on the other side of the barriers. Using this glitch, Michael decided to explore out of bounds of the area where he initially heard the noises.
What the fuck?
There was an Easter egg out of bounds featuring this weird-ass dude with a cat, who's apparently a mythological creature from Indonesian folklore named Buto.
He looks kind of friendly.
But yet, this still wasn't where the sounds were coming from. As right next to Buto is a staircase.
That's not even the fucking Easter egg?
That when scanned with your iris phone reveals a strange symbol on the wall. With Michael's newfound wall glitch, he used a trick and was surprised to find on the other side of the wall was a room with a lone zombie.
What the fuck?
Only to realize there was an incredibly elaborate tunnel system that stretched underneath the entirety of the environment. Almost immediately, Michael found a bat he could pick up that didn't appear anywhere else in the game, that when observed in the inventory only provided a blank white image, inferring that the bat and its surroundings were unfinished. As Michael descended further into the unknown, he came across several more unnerving enemies to the point that he realized he wasn't going to be able to go any farther. Fortunately, with the use of his wall glitch, he was able to continue forward. And Michael didn't find anything down there at all and gave up. If you enjoyed this video,
thank
please
you.
subscribe.
Thank you.
Okay, fine.
No, fuck that.
For the first time, a horrendous beast that appears
what
to be
the
the original
fuck?
final boss for the base game, though it does appear to resemble a boss that appeared in the game's trailer in the later DLC. Fortunately, this hideous creature doesn't have any active AI and can be easily defeated. And after ridding the environment of the atrocity, on the other side of this door, Michael found what appears to be a developer room. Either this whole area was left unfinished, never meant to be found, or this creature remains deep underground in this location that's yet to be properly solved, ready to attack the player once the correct conditions are met. Until then, it appears the creature will continue to guard the game's biggest secret at the bottom of this rabbit hole, far underneath these dark, unreachable depths hidden deep below the environment. If you enjoyed this video...
Fuck that. Alright, so that was a sponsor. What is it? Genshin Impact. Go play Genshin Impact. Go use an Oddheader code or whatever.
Submit to Oddheader.com. Come join the Discord. Send me a shout through Twitter.
That whole video was worth it for that last discovery. Fuck that. I'm not playing DreadOut. I hate horror games. I love them, but I hate playing them. I really do. Like, there's certain ones I'm okay with playing. That ain't one of them. So.
The Fox. 1, 2, 3. Frosted Flakes.
Alright. So the rest is just that. Alright, that was fun. Anyway, there you go. That was top 10 game mysteries and discoveries of 2021. DreadOut 2. I didn't even know there was a DreadOut 2. I know there was a DreadOut 1. Is there a DreadOut 3? Is there 4? 10? I don't know. DreadOut X. So link in the description. Go check it out yourself. Thank you. Until next time. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.